What's up, everyone? It's Q from RetroQ Gaming, and I do not understand these executive decisions. It's like the executives don't live in the real world at all. But anyway, what I'm talking about is the new Need for Speed game, which is tentatively titled Need for Speed, because it doesn't seem to officially be announced anywhere, but places and people are talking about it, even the developers, but I've never seen an official announcement about it. I'd expect it at E3, but it's a reboot anyway. So usually I wouldn't make a video on a thing like this, except for what history has taught us. So anyway, the new Need for Speed reboot, it's going to require an always-on online connection. So it seems to be for all three platforms, which are PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. So it'll be one of the few games on a console that will require an internet connection. Obviously, you've got stuff like the Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited. That's an MMO, so that's going to need one. You've got games like Destiny. I don't think Diablo 3 on consoles requires an always online connection, but there's a few anyways. So that's one of them. Evolve is another one actually, because that's always online. But obviously on PC, a lot of the time, the always online connection is just done for piracy or piracy prevention, really. Now, okay, so what I find strange about this, anyways, just going to start from the start, was that the developers have said that Need for Speed will require an online connection, but the benefits are nice, more variety, and a more rewarding experience with friends. So that's basically what they had to say about it. It's from the developers. It's literally just a tweet, so there's not really much to go on for it, but they have said that it will require the always online connection. Now, I come from this from both ways. It's 2015. The majority of the world has reasonable internet. However, we've seen in the past that an always online game, be it an MMO, be it a racer, be it any other type of game that just has it on piracy prevention issues, usually has a giant fuck up that will arguably leave it for the worst at the end of the day. I mean, just coming from EA alone, do I have to bring up the SimCity Glassbox issue? They hyped it up as the biggest, most complex AI system and altogether, and then the game releases, and not only were the servers absolutely terrible and the game was almost unplayable for like a week, but once the game did come up and become playable and the servers were a bit more stable, what happens? People see this Glassbox engine and the AI system in it, and it was absolutely useless. It was nothing whatsoever. It did absolutely nothing that they claimed it would do. It did absolutely nothing that they had previously shown it to do. It was just clearly piracy prevention. I remember they had come out and said before the game actually released that the AI is so complex and all that it needs to be run on an actual server because a PC couldn't handle it. What do? A little while later, they released an offline patch for it. And probably the AI even improved over the server-side Glassbox version of it, because that was just awful. I remember there was videos and pictures of absolutely everywhere where the AI was so bad, and contrary to what EA had hyped it up for, was that every single citizen and car and whatever would always take the shortest, most direct route from A to B for whatever they were doing. Now, the way EA had hyped it up was that they could recognize, based on the time of day, the traffic, the distance, all that kind of shit. There's screenshots and videos of everyone out there where there would literally be two roads side by side. One road would be the shortest road, and it would be absolutely chock-a-block with complete no moving traffic whatsoever. The other road was specifically built to be marginally longer, maybe like 2% or 10% longer. So it was a very, very short distance longer. And the road was completely empty. And according to how EA and their Glassbox would work, was that the Sims, or Sim citizens, whatever you want to call them, would see that, oh look, this road is completely blocked up with traffic, let me go the other road. No, it didn't work. It just goes to show how crap EA usually have online stuff, or at least online only stuff, in the guise of literally being piracy protection, and that's about it. So that's one of my main issues, that these games don't need it whatsoever. I mean, you've got other games like Forza, I'm not sure which, I think it's Forza 5, the one that launched on Xbox One with the Xbox One when it launched. Now, I have that game because it came free with my Xbox. I played it once because I don't play racing games. But I remember looking at there was an online thing in that, and you had a Drivatar, I think it was called, and when, based on other people's play styles and all, that was recorded, and the AI would record it and it would race them and all. So it's very marginal stuff that these online only systems will give you benefits for and all. So I feel it's literally just piracy protection. And when it comes to the two consoles, the PS4 and Xbox One, it's not needed at all, really. And then, of course, I'm going to go on to the final one. Always online games, especially when they just launch. Look at everything, okay? Destiny. When Destiny launched, the servers were an absolute mess. You were getting disconnects and server errors absolutely everywhere. Diablo 3 was a fucking nightmare to play. For like the first entire month it came out, it was a fucking absolute nightmare to try play. And Diablo 3 isn't even I'm sure most of you know, but Diablo 3 isn't even a shared world experience kind of thing. You're literally just logging on to your own personal instance on the server and just going from there. There's no public social area. Okay, there is in the chat, but there's no public social areas. And I mean, you're not going to go into a town and see dozens of other people there. So I mean, look, the way I play Diablo, I've actually opted out of the public world chat and the clans and all that stuff. So I mean, I have literally no use of being online for that, unless I'm playing with my actual friends. But that's just some of them. So I mean, we brought up Diablo 3, we brought up Destiny. I'm pretty sure Evolve had some server issues when that first came up. One that I personally remember fairly well is Final Fantasy 14 in both 1.0 and 2.0 editions. 1.0 was just a nightmare because the servers just didn't work at all for a long time, and when they first came up, they were just completely falling apart. But then when 2.0 came out, and what I find really weird is that Square Enix had exact numbers because of pre-orders and all that on how many people that would be playing it. The servers were so bad for literally the first 2 weeks and early access that what actually happened was early access started a couple of, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 days beforehand, before the actual main service started. And there was so much downtime during all that they actually extended the people's subscriptions by like a week because of there was so much downtime. So within the first, including early access, within the first 2.5 weeks of Final Fantasy 14, the game was almost nearly unplayable all the time. It was really bad. So all these games with their online only systems, with the slight exclusion of MMOs, 99% of the time, their always online requirements and what they will say are benefits will just not work out to be tangible benefits at all. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if a couple of 6 months from now they released an offline patch, because it's going to be something stupid. It's going to be, I mean, I think the Crew had an online system as well. I've never played the Crew, but I remember hearing something about it. It's got like some sort of online system that is supposed to be better and more social and communal, but apparently it's just a piece of crap. So again, 99% of the time, unless they really, really, really go in depth with it and put it into a game that's going to last a long time, with content that's going to last a long time, and always online systems that are going to last a long time, it's just it's very, very hard. Actually, that brings up another good point for games that really aren't MMOs. When the server goes down, I mean, we all know EA loves shutting down their servers after arguably just over a year. and you have like 2K games. They love shutting down their sports games after just over a year as well. So I mean, games like that, they're just going to fall apart really, especially with EA's track record and all on this. But anyway, I'm just going to leave the video there, and that's where it's going to end anyway. So let me know your thoughts on the always online aspect of games, both in, say, games like this and games that will just probably fall apart, games that will possibly have an offline patch a couple of months down the line, and any of the games that you've actually tried that have had always online requirements, be them MMO or otherwise. I'm curious to know your thoughts and experiences and how it's all gone on any type of game like that. So other than that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter because I got a new series starting on May 31st, which is 2 days from now, that I think everyone out there that plays games would really enjoy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.